What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Master Wing channel. You know what we're doing today. We're all about Wingspan. We have more gameplay for you. Getting right into my starting hand. Check out this card selection. The Great Tit is great. We have a Falconer bonus card. This is a post-game commentary. And you saw the thumbnail. You saw it. It's common Nighthawk energy. Okay, we are going to use the Nighthawk. When's the last time you played that bird? It has been around for a long time. As you can see, I don't have any real wetland birds. So I went with the Nighthawk, and we're going to use this gray tit, try to get the greater roadrunner down, and try to get a dub today. So here we are, first turn of the game. We're going to grab that extra food we need for the gray tit, and we'll get going. First end of round is birds with no eggs. So I'm hoping with this Nighthawk, the plan is to not spend turns laying eggs. We're just going to use the Nighthawk and try to double up on some habitats here. And you see with the reroll, I really like that forest bird we got down. The gray tit is awesome. And now we need to draw some cards, because after these three, I really don't have a plan. I really like the Greater Roadrunner. You've probably seen some of my other videos. The Roadrunner appears quite a bit. It's in my underrated series. It's a 9-point bird now with the Falconer, and it has a predation power. So we're hoping that turns into a 10 or 11-point bird today. And we're going to keep the Nighthawk in the wetlands because we didn't draw anything good. We didn't draw a wetland bird. And I don't want to lay eggs because I want to snag this first end of round goal. We are playing Epic Sax Guy. We've been back and forth. Good player as always. The Wingspan community just, it doesn't feel like there's many easy games. He plays the Blue Throat earlier, and we're going to take advantage of that with this extra food. Check out what we pull. We top deck the Black Tern, which is exactly the kind of bird we are looking for, and we move the Nighthawk into the forest. Obviously, it's a migration bird for new players. If there is not a bird to the right of it, you can move it in between the different habitats. So it doesn't score any actual points by itself, but the idea is to save you turns elsewhere, and so we're going to try to utilize it the best we can. It's not easy to get down either, because you can't just play it from your starting hand because it requires 2 worms. It's a little bit better with the Food Web Expert bonus card, but it's one of my favorite birds along with the Laughing Kookaburra outside of the game in real life. So we're going to try to make this Nighthawk work. My opponent plays the red-legged partridge, which is a great first grassland bird, and he has plenty of egg space. It's a little scary from Epic Sax. We go ahead and leave the Nighthawk in the forest, and we get 3 birds down to tie the end of round goal. We get to go first this round, and check out this tray. The Nighthawk is not down in the wetlands where we would like, but we go ahead and pick up the Purple Martin and the Burrowing Owl, only to reveal the Eastern Imperial Eagle. That's kind of a bummer, Rule 16, but I'm happy with the Purple Martin and the Burrowing Owl. Again, Predator power. It's a 7-point bird right now. The House Sparrow is in the tray. I'm thinking about it, but I want to progress my board at this time. You know, it's, in hindsight, I don't know. We have a berry and 3 seeds. And so I'm wondering if my opponent's going to pick it up. I don't pick it up. I play it a little risky. And it ends up being left by both players. I didn't think with the Blue Throat that he would be giving me a ton of extra food. And then also, I've got a couple grassland birds I want to play. I've got a grassland engine. I don't know if I'm going to have that extra food that the House Sparrow requires. So here we go. We're going to utilize the Nighthawk again to gain some food, move it down to the wetlands, and I'm also looking at this blackneck stilt. This end around goal is the filled columns, and oh, my opponent plays Song Sparrow, that's right, so he's got a migratory bird as well. But if I could grab the blackneck stilt and house sparrow, I think that's what I'm going to do eventually. I maybe can do well on this filled columns and get 2. We'll see. We still haven't laid eggs this entire game, I believe, which is nice. You see this Nighthawk continues to move, and especially with this OG board, not the Oceania board, but this board in particular, it's nice to get that bird in the second spot because you can gain 2 food, draw 2 cards, and lay 3 eggs. So before we lay eggs, we move the Nighthawk into the grassland. It does require that extra planting, and my opponent continues to give me extra seeds, so I think here is where I may pull the trigger on the house sparrow. It doesn't really fit any of my bonus card needs, but it may eventually score me some extra points. It's not bad. So we finally take up the house sparrow. We're going to leave the Nighthawk in the forest for a little while, and 2 turns left, and we are loving this extra food. I'm thinking we play blackneck stilt, see what we get, and then a second grassland bird. Tell me what you think about those migratory birds. They usually get a bad rap. It's not my favorite bird in the game by any means, but I like it when it's utilized. I have taken migratory birds all the way to the end. I wish I had recorded some of those, but there's always that turning point in some games where is it really worth working your whole game around a migratory bird? Is the Nighthawk going to dictate our every turn? Are we going to put the Nighthawk eventually in the grassland and let that dictate our turns? I think in this game is where we may kind of pivot a little bit and use some other birds that score us points. But I'm happy with how it has accelerated my game so far. We didn't have wetland options in the start. We didn't have a second forest bird, and we also didn't want to lay many eggs. It's not an egg-heavy game, as you can see. So that's where the Nighthawk, I think, has been utilized pretty well so far. I'm thinking this will see some YouTube upload because you don't play it much. You don't see it much. Here we are already in round 3. My opponent plays Turkey Vulture, which isn't a super powerful play, but if my Roadrunner and Burrowing Owl, if they activate, we'll be giving him some extra food with that Turkey Vulture. And continuing to gain food here with this Nighthawk in the second slot. And we continue to keep him upstairs on the board. We got 10 turns left. We got to get several birds down. We have that Eleanor's Falcon, which is nice. That's 8 points. And we drew a Eastern Bluebird, I think. Or was it the Mountain Bluebird? Either way, it's play another bird. And that could be helpful for my grassland. I'm a little bit, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with this turn. We are drawing cards right here. I think I could have gained food instead and moved the Nighthawk to my grassland. But in hindsight, I think I want more cards to tuck under the Purple Martin. So I think that's why I draw cards there, because I had the Eleanor's Falcon, Burrowing Owl, Roadrunner, and Bluebird, and I planned on playing most, if not all of those. My opponent plays Big Eagle Energy. He's utilizing his migratory bird, that Song Sparrow, pretty well. It continues to move. And I'm also remembering that I don't, for some reason I space out and I don't look at the black-neck stilt. I think when I'm playing this game, I don't think I have a white power. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but we've been there. Where you think you don't have any ground nest, and then like the condor or something has a ground nest, and you just overlook it by mistake. So I think there's an opportunity here. I'm trying to play this bluebird, and I've already got a white power with the stilt. I've already qualified for the end of round goal. So I think if I could play this game again, I'd probably just gain food right here and move the Nighthawk into the grassland and just keep the Nighthawk there, play the Burrowing Owl, and not worry about the Bluebird. We'll see. I think this next couple turns cost me a few points because I want to lay some eggs and get this double play down. We were able to score a couple wheat, a couple seeds, whatever, on the house sparrow. So the house sparrow was a good pickup. I'm happy we decided to grab that. I'm sure with his blue throat, he's not going to be handing any more seeds for me to discard for that house sparrow, though. Yeah, you can see me pause right here. I'm like debating whether I want to do this bluebird, and I decide that I do. So I'm moving the Nighthawk out of the way. My opponent has 3 white powers, so the bluebird is really, it doesn't really help me with the end around goal, but, it does add a couple points to my score, and the Nighthawk did its job. It accelerated my game. We're not going to take this Nighthawk all the way to the end. I really need to focus on scoring some points here because he's got the partridge. Of course, he played the eagle, and I need to unload some falconer birds, and I need to lay some eggs. So that is my thinking headed into the last round of the game. If you like that Nighthawk footage, don't be shy. Hit that subscribe button for me. We have some Oceania games right around the corner. I say that. It could be 2024. Who knows? I have some educational videos. I have some gameplay videos. And if you like highlighting birds that don't always get a lot of attention, that's what this channel is about. We want to not reinvent, but we want to appreciate the birds and the cards that this Wingspan game has. So hit that like button for me. All right, we played that Burrowing Owl and the Roadrunner. We've been neck and neck on end of round goals. I think we're pretty close, but maybe slightly behind on the egg game. He's got 7 eggs. He played an Atlantic Puffin. So you never know what those green bonus cards hold. We have 0 eggs at the time, and I think it's going to be pretty straightforward egg spam for the next 5 turns. That's another good thing I'm looking forward to for Oceania. We've said it before, but sometimes with this original base game, with the European expansion, it turns into grassland, 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 egg spam, which is fine. It's fun. It scores a lot of points. But we also like variety here. And I think that Oceania and Asia expansion kind of bring out that variety that we're looking for as far as what habitat to develop. And check out this predation. Burrowing Owl and Roadrunner were successful, I believe. That's what you like to see. I mean, like I said, Falconer increases their value. And then they've already cashed rodents, tucked cards. I don't understand the hate on the Roadrunner and the Burrowing Owl. maybe hate's a strong word, but when you get that brown power, new players, and it says roll dice outside of the bird feeder, at least on the Monster Couch app, maybe not in real life, but on the app, I see successful hunts with that power. So, I like it. Here we go, Eleanor's Falcon. That was a 7-point play with that bonus card. So it beat my Grassland Engine. And my opponent has plenty of food. I was hanging on to this Merganser just in case he gave me another food. Let's see, I don't think the owl was successful that time. And we hung on to the fish as well, just in case. We play Merganser for a 5-point play, but I don't think it turns out, and I don't think the Merganser beats my current engine. So we only have 2 turns left. I'll probably discard this fish. My opponent plays Scissortail Flycatcher, but again, he's already got 4 food. I don't see why he would give me an extra worm. So we go ahead and dump the fish. Try to get some extra points. Just double checking here. My opponent, he doesn't have any cards left, and he's got to lay eggs. He's got eight spots left on egg space. Is that what I saw? 19 of 27. So he may have a little bit of an egg space issue with that partridge going to work. There's that burrowing owl. Straight value. So much value with this falconer setup. My burrowing owl succeeds, the roadrunner does not. And we draw bonus card birds and a blue warbler. That really doesn't help me because we don't have any food. It's not worth it. We need to score some more points. My opponent lays eggs as usual. He's got 1 turn left. No cards, and he's got 4 food. So I'm not 100% what his last turn is going to be. He may have like a Visionary Leader bonus card or something, or I don't know. Anyway, successful hunts. We're giving them some extra food with the Turkey Vulture and good old Purple Martin in the back. Being consistent with the tucks. We need every point this game, because even though we got some predators down, you know, it doesn't feel like a super powerful board. We were able to use that Nighthawk for about the first half of the game, and then the Grassland Engine, I'm hoping, prevails. Here we go. We beat him on bird points barely. He comes back with end around goals, and he's going to get me on eggs, probably. Woo! Check out those tucks. Purple Martin, Roadrunner, busted. Hey, House Sparrow too. When you win by that small margin, he had Enclosure Builder and Breeding Manager 3 points. Not bad. When you win by that small margin, every turn matters. We didn't spend many turns laying eggs. But we got it done. We got it done with the Grassland Engine. Thank you for watching. See you next time on Master Wing. Peace!